If you're starting to daydream or plan your funeral as a result of your health anxiety, things are probably getting really rough on you, and health anxiety or hypochondria is really getting its grip around your life. Go ahead and smash that like button down below. If you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt, and leave me a comment down there as well if you can relate with me. I know many of you probably can. I dealt with health anxiety for 5 long years. Now, throughout that time period, I thought about all the different ways that I could die. I thought about how I would die, what it would feel like, where am I going afterwards? Am I going to even like where I go afterwards? Even as a religious person, there's still many questions to be answered in my opinion. So I started to think about my funeral a lot. And of course, the way I envisioned my funeral and you know, what I would have said at my funeral, arrangements, that did change over time because, you know, 5 years is a long time. I still grew in that time period. My desires, my wants, you know, towards the end of my health anxiety, which is, I guess will be the example that I use, I was about to get married and I had a son. I had 2 sons. I had just had my newborn. So I had a lot in my life to lose. And that really was hard on me because during this time period, I was fearing for my life that I had lymphoma. And I was constantly going to the doctor getting checked, but she said she couldn't feel anything, but I could. You know, that's what I thought. And I had all these symptoms that she couldn't pinpoint. And it was frustrating. I couldn't get a CAT scan, so I accepted that I was dying and I was never going to get the situation resolved. So I, like many times, I started to, you know, become really depressed and think about everything that I was going to lose because I was so sure of it. I was so sure. I was like, I'm going to die in my early 20s of lymphoma. I have 2 kids and, you know, one of them is a baby and I'm about to get married and I have my own home and I have a great job and I'm about to lose all of that. That terrified me. It was heartbreaking. It was depressing, especially whenever you really make yourself believe it. Like I did. I was very good at self-convincing and self-diagnosing. So I started to plan how I wanted things to end if it were not to happen suddenly. If I had time to write things down, you know, I knew what I was going to want. Even down to the damn song that I would have played at my funeral. A few songs. To what I would want people to wear. To who I'd want to speak. To a video that I would make personally. And I'll tell you this is how abstract I would think, and how abstract might not be the right word, but in detail I would think. I had already planned on making like videos for my children to open on each of their birthdays as they got older. I had plans on making the same ones for my wife. I had plans on making Merry Christmas videos for each year as they got older. A video for my kids to open when they graduated from high school, one for college, one for when they had their first child, one video for then whenever they get married. I mean, that's how in depth that I was thinking, and I still don't think that that's a horrible idea for somebody that's passing away and has the time to do it for their children, but I was convinced I was gonna have this crazy video like file or something or folder where they could go through and access these videos on certain dates. I wanted the song Something to Remind You by Stain to be played at my funeral, you know? That was the song that I wanted. I wanted my parents to speak. I wanted my wife to talk about the good things. I wanted people to smile, even though that I was miserable towards the end. And I really was miserable as if I was dying. I think sometimes even mentally struggling, mental pain can even be worse than physical pain in some aspects. And I just want you guys to know how bad it got for me. I was planning my own funeral. I was planning on what was going to be said, who's going to be there, what people were going to wear, the songs that people were going to hear, the pictures that I would have for the slideshow, a message for everyone, a letter to my wife and kids, a letter to my parents to be read, videos that I would unlock for certain dates and events and accomplishments for my kids to still see Dad, you know, there. And it's so sad kind of when I think about that and think about that's how dark things were for me at that time. But I want you guys to know that there is hope. I obviously got out of that. I went from planning my own funeral to, you know, planning my life now. I mean, I don't think about that anymore. But guys, I want you to focus your attention away from that the best that you can. There's many different components to health anxiety. No two people are the same, so it's hard for me to really pinpoint what's going on with you. But you have to seek reassurance. Make sure that you know that you're healthy and trust those results. And then that's where it starts. But you have to figure out what causes it. For me, it was just horrible lifestyle that I thought was going to kill me, and I was going to die from the consequences of my actions, or by my actions, and that was a huge fear of mine. So I had to handle that, and that helped me with my health anxiety tremendously. And I can't tell you what your issue is, but you have to figure out what your root cause is and work on that every day mentally. That's meditation and journaling. That's CBT. That's therapy. It's exposure therapy. It's positive affirmations. It's watching videos like this, reading books, put in the mental work, as well as the lifestyle changes of diet and exercise. Exercise was so crucial for me, guys, because it started to shape my mind towards positivity and reassure me that I wasn't dying from all these diseases that I thought I had. Because I started little by little using exposure therapy and running and exercising and doing things like that. And I built on it each day. I built on it each day and went longer, and went faster, and went harder. And it reassured me that I was healthy. It reassured me that I was fine, that somebody with heart disease or somebody with lymphoma or brain cancer or all the other things that I thought was wrong with me, somebody like that would not be able to do what I was doing, so unless they were in amazing shape. But that was very reassuring for me, and that helped. So be doing that each and every day. But guys, I was in a dark place, planning my freaking funeral. It's unbelievable when I think about it, but I want you guys to know, if that's something that you're going through, I don't want you to feel sorry for yourself. It's hard for me to still not feel sorry for myself for what I was going through. But in that moment, you're not going to get anywhere for feeling sorry for yourself. Change your negative mind into a positive one, and that takes work every single day. But guys, I love you, and this is just a video to relate with some of you that might have some of the same feelings that I did. But subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell, for updates when I put these videos out. If you're new to my channel, nice little view of the sun back there. I have many videos over anxiety disorders, so check them out. Also, like this video if you got some value. This is one of those that I didn't have a real strategy going into it, but I just wanted to talk, basically grab the camera and talk, and that's what I did today. But I can understand what many of you guys are going through, if not all of you. But I love you all. Have a great rest of your weekend. A few hours left, depending on where you are in the world. We start the rough week next week. Stay positive out there. Keep grinding. All right, I love you all. Talk to you later.